Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. This is Paul Hutchings coming to you with another edition of The Good Parts, a daily social media show where I go live Monday through Friday, right around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to share one good part from my life and or business in an effort to help you and me create more freedom, prosperity, happiness, success, generate more sales, grow our incomes, all the good things that life has to offer. This is where my mind is pointed. And in today's episode, I want to share, as the title indicates, how to not make more money in business. And I think this is useful sometimes to think about, because if we know how to not make more money in business, in other words, if we can identify some things that are not conducive to creating more prosperity, it's good to see those so that we can not do those things and instead do the other things that will help us to attract more income, more success, more wealth. And so that is the topic of the live today, and I'm excited to share this content with you because I really believe it can be life changing if you're open to receiving what I have to share today. And I see we have a lot of great people tuning in. Hey, Don Thompson, good to see you again. He was here yesterday. Thank you for all your great comments yesterday. Gregory Napier's here. Good to see you. William Song's here. Good to see you from Singapore. Nick Romani, good to see you. Janine, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Veronique, good to see you. Arnita, good to see you. We got a lot of people tuning in saying hello. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're watching the replay, say hi below. If there's anything I can do to help you in your business, if you have any questions, please comment below. I read all my comments, and I will definitely strive to create content to help you if I'm not already doing that, right? I kind of have to guess a little bit, like what do people need? What are good things I could share that could help people? But if you tell me what you need, sometimes my content can be a little bit more directed. So I see Bill Fever's here as well. So let's get into this. So this was inspired by a post that was in our private community group last week. So a fairly new member asks the following question. Has anyone made over $50,000 in this business? And I kind of chuckled a little bit when I saw that question, only because I know that people have made far more than $50,000, right? And so, but this is a new person, and he's wondering, like, hey, is this thing working? Like, are people making money? So it's a legitimate question. And so I thought, okay, how do I respond to this question? Do I jump in and I say, not only that, I mean, look, let me tell you how much money I've made. In our community, we really kind of strive not to. I don't like talking about how much money I make anymore. Like when I first got started in home business, that was something that I did, and that was something that people did, and it is something that people still do today. And it is effective sometimes to share, like, look at what this business did for me. Look how much money I'm making. And then that sometimes can inspire belief in other people where they're like, okay, yeah, I want to get started. This is exciting. But for a whole host of reasons, I don't like doing that anymore. And one thing that I found is that it's not even really necessary. I didn't know in the beginning until I had this theory. My business partner and I had this theory when we started our company. We said, what if we actually didn't make our community all about how much money everyone was making? And what if we didn't talk about that all the time? And some of the reasons we chose to not do that, and this is different, I think. I mean, from everything that I've been in before up until this company that we started, this wasn't the thing that people did. People always talked about, all the people that are making all the money and look how amazing they are, blah, 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 blah. And we were in companies like that. And we were some of the people that were earning a lot of money. But one of the things we noticed was that it sort of set up this expectation that you're only valuable if you're making a lot of money. And it also had this feeling sometimes where, you felt like less than, like if you're a brand new person and the company's only talking about, these certain people that are making all this money, like for some people, it kind of can make them feel like they're not as valuable to the community. So for some of those reasons, we didn't want to build a community like that. We wanted to build a community that was based on value. that was based on, the products actually delivering value to people's lives, the income opportunity, actually producing income for people, but also within the community. We wanted people to be in the community for the value they were receiving, not so much about because this person's making this much money and this person's making this much money and this person's making this much money. We felt like that would create a better community where people would like it more, ourselves included. And we also had the theory that if people like it more and they feel like they're just as valuable as everyone else in the community, our theory was that that would actually produce a more stable residual income. There's other reasons. I mean, there's a bunch of reasons I could continue to go on, but all of this to say, for all of the thought that we put into this, we came to the conclusion that we did not want to be people running around flashing our paychecks everywhere and always talking about how much money we and others were making. And so back to this question, has anyone made over $50,000? And how do I answer this question? I settled on, of course, the line from Jim Rohn, of course. That's what I settled on. But I continued to watch some of the comments that were coming in because I was curious, and one of the comments that came in, and I really don't want this to come off in the wrong way because, reading what someone writes in a text message is very hard sometimes to, like, you can't like totally judge like where that person was coming from or what they meant. A lot of meaning and intention is sometimes lost in the written word. So I want to preface everything I'm going to say from that standpoint. That being said, a lesson that one of my former mentors taught me that's a really valuable lesson is that the effect of your communication is not the words that you say, but how the communication is received. So I'm going to tell you what was written, and then I'm going to tell you how it was received by not just me, but also my business partner, because I heard him talk about it too. And when he talked about it, I thought, yeah, that's actually exactly the meaning that I got when I read that. So here was the meaning, or here was the message. So the message was, I've only made $200 since I joined in January. And that was it, period. So has anyone made over $50,000? And then one person says, I've only made $200 since I joined in January. So the meaning that I kind of picked up from that was that it was like this sense of dissatisfaction, not like super happy about it. Like, no, maybe this business doesn't work. I've only made $200. And so whether that was the intention behind the message or not, that was the meaning that many people got from reading that message. And that's the inspiration for this message today, because one of the things that I want to say is that one way to not make more money in whatever business you're building, whether that's a network marketing business or an affiliate marketing business, is to have a sense of disappointment on the thing that you're doing because of your results. And I want to highlight that, your results. Because the other thing is, sometimes people think that, like, here's a common question. Does this thing work? Does this thing work? How much money are people making? Because I want to know, does this thing work? And this is another reason we decided not to run around talking about how much money everyone was making, because the truth of the matter is that it is way more about you than it is the thing. I mean, the thing is important, don't get me wrong, but you can take the same business, the same products, the same compensation plan, and give it to two different people. One person will go out and earn $1 million with it, and the other person will not make any money, or the other person will go out and make $100. So you cannot judge how good the thing is by this person and their results and this person and theirs, because everyone is different. And that's another reason we didn't really want to be talking about how much money everyone was making all the time, because how much money I'm making, guess what? I'm not the same person as you. So although you might want to know how much money I'm making, I could give you that number and it probably would inspire you. And you might even be blown away by me sharing that number, but you're a different person. someone who's brand new to the business is not equal on a skill level, on an experience level, on a belief level, on a communication level to someone like me who's been in the business for 2 decades. It's just not a good thing to do. So we don't like to use our results as ways to entice. I mean, and it's a balance, right? Like, I'm not saying there's a perfect way to do this, but if I was to only talk about how much money I was making and then say, look how much money I'm making, that means this business is amazing. That means this business is going to work for you and you should get started and you can make this much money too. That would not be honest because of all the things that I've illustrated. But the point of today's message is one of the things you have to do if you want to make more money. And I say this all the time. This is one of my favorite quotes. I think it's so true. Zig Ziglar said, sales is not a thing in the world, but a transference of feeling. So if you're in a thing and you feel like this thing isn't working very good, like I've been in for so long and I've only made this much money. This thing, I don't love this thing. Guess what? Your sales are in the toilet because you're feeling that feeling is going to transfer over. So one of the things that I did, and I am speaking from experience here. So let me tell you my story. My entire first year in home business, I made $0. But I stayed excited about the thing. I stayed excited about my vision for my future. I stayed excited about freedom for my family. I stayed excited about personal development and the growth and the lessons I was learning along the way. And I was able to take all of that excitement and keep it, even though after a year I had made no money. And then guess what happened? I joined the next business. And for the next 3 or 4 years, I didn't make much money. But guess what I did? I kept the excitement for my better future. And all through those first few years, I was learning, I was growing, I was getting better. I was increasing my commitment level. I was increasing my belief in myself. I was increasing my belief in people. I was increasing my belief in whatever the thing was that I was promoting at the time. And so because I kept that excitement and that belief, and I kept demonstrating it in my communication, when someone would ask me, is this a good thing? I might be making $0, but I would say, yes, this is amazing. I love this thing. And I would have all of these reasons for why this thing was so good. And so eventually that started to turn into much more money for myself and my family, to where thankfully now in my early 40s, I'm completely retired. I have all the money that I want and need to live, and I don't have to show up to work every day. I don't have to punch a clock. I don't have to be there for 8 to 10 hours. I work sometimes I work a lot, like if I'm on a project, like yesterday, last couple of days, I've been working from morning till, late at night. But it's because I want to, and it's because I'm working on something that can be beneficial for myself and others. So sometimes I get into those modes where I work a lot. And then other times when these projects are done and things are rolling, then I step back and I don't have to work. And all the while, regardless, I still have plenty of money coming in. But I would never be in this situation had I not learned the valuable skill of retaining my excitement of what I should be excited about, totally irrespective of whether I was making money or not, because that is what creates sales. People are attracted to people who are excited about things, and one quote I wanted to share that really illustrates this well, and I apologize, I forget who said it. Many of you have probably heard this quote before. It said, success is nothing more than being able to go from failure to failure to failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. And I think the reason that's true is because people feel your feelings. And so if you can keep your enthusiasm as you're going through your growth process, that will transfer over, and eventually that will turn into more sales. On the flip side, if you're, again, I don't know, this thing isn't that great, that's not going to make you more money. It's just not. So I wanted to highlight this. And again, to the person, if they happen to be watching this, whoever made this comment, I love you and I'm not judging you because, again, I don't know what your real intentions were. I'm just saying that the way that it was stated was received as like disappointment, frustration. This thing might not be working that well. And I want to give an example of how you could have phrased, or anyone can phrase, the same results. So this particular example, I've been in since January. I've made $200, or I'm making $200 a month. I don't know which it is, but our business model, the total monthly out-of-pocket cost, if you own both of our continuity products, is $150. So let's say this person was making $200 a month, which I'm not sure about. But if that was the meaning, then it could have been, man, like, I'm already in profit. My products are free. That's amazing. Like, this business is costing me nothing. I'm in positive cash flow, and it's great. And then what would that have done? That would have built belief in whoever else was reading the message. Like, you can leave the time frame out, like, you don't have to say, well, I joined 2 years ago and I've only made this much money. See, the thing about communication is, you can be very truthful, and at the same time, you can be selective about the truths that you're highlighting. So you never want to lie, right? I would encourage no one to ever lie. But to be successful in life, like, there's a lot of true things happening all the time. Some of them exciting, some of them really disappointing and frustrating and sad and soul crushing. That's all happening right now. All of it is true. But as a human consciousness, we have the ability and the responsibility to choose which pieces of truth we are going to focus on all the time. So in this case, you could focus on the truth of, I've been in since January and I've only made $200. And that's a true statement. You can also say, I haven't even been in this business for a year and I'm already in positive cash flow. That's also a true statement. But do you see the different effect that it creates in people? And also, most importantly, that it creates in yourself, So I hope this message has been valuable for you today. Jim Rohn said, success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract because of the person you've become. What does that even mean? Well, partly it means you want to become a person who is excited about things, who focuses on the good things, who focuses on how things are better and getting better, and you're making progress. That's becoming a person that's having faith and choosing to believe in the better future, regardless of whatever little things are happening on the path to that better future. So we get a lot of comments coming in. So thanks everyone for tuning. I'm going to get to all these comments. I do want to say I do these every day, Monday through Friday. My goal is to help people, as I mentioned, create more freedom, success, sales, happiness, goodness, in the world. And so if you want more from me, I'd love to encourage you to subscribe to me on social media if you're not already subscribed. And also, if you want to learn more from me and stay super connected, I'd love to encourage you to visit my website, paulhutchings.net/GIFTS. Pick up a free gift. I've got some what I think to be really valuable resources there, some marketing training, some lead generation training. I also have the business that I'm in that I love, that is very profitable when you produce results. Got to make that caveat. We pay 80% commission. So in our business, as I've kind of talked about in this live, you can be in positive cash flow with just 2 referrals. And you can grow a very sizable residual income with a relatively small amount of customers. And we do that because we want to help people build freedom faster. So with that, I'm going to jump to the comments here and say hello to everyone. Hey, Bill Rizlov, hello to you. Jeff Topper, good morning. Great to see you today. Caroline says, took you with me to the kitchen making dinner while listening to the live Zoom. Awesome. Hopefully I sent good vibes to your food and that your food is going to be even more tasty. Thanks, Caroline. William says, constantly mentioning earning also causes pressure to the newcomers who are trying to get their first sales and others. Yeah, that's true. And the same with leaderboards, like, and this is all related. So leaderboards, right? Like, companies have leaderboards and where they list, like, okay, this person's making this much money, or this person's making this much sales, and all the top producers for the week. And companies do that because it does motivate people to strive to get on that board. But what we think and what we've thought is that sometimes, like, striving to get on a leaderboard or striving to beat somebody on a leaderboard can actually take you away from things that matter. Like, what matters? Earning the income that you want to earn, that matters. Beating somebody, that doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, it's good for the company because it might make the company more sales, but it can take away peace from your life. It can encourage a sense of competition. And so yeah, that's another example of what William was talking about, causing pressure, and not just pressure to the newcomer, but really pressure to everyone. And we don't like pressure. We want people to do things for the goodness of doing them, for the results that those results will bring to their lives, rather than competing and feeling pressure all the time. Janine says, I think telling people what you make can be intimidating to new people. And that is also true, So yeah, great point, Janine. Thank you. Christian says, so happy to be able to see you a third time. Thanks, Mr. Christian. Right back at you. Nick says, value and integrity is very important. Not only that, but it creates an atmosphere of trust and principles. It brings an aura of longevity and prosperity. I like that. And I appreciate that you see that. Let's see. Bill Fever says, I have not made a lot of money here. Now I want to challenge you on that, Bill. Compared to what? I know you have made money. There are people who have made no money. So have you made a lot of money compared to those people? And this is something to, just be aware of in your communication. Again, the way that you choose to say things or not say things, and I'm not criticizing you. I'm just kind of, that stuck out to me. Like, I've not made a lot of money here. What is a lot of money? And that's, by the way, that's another reason we decided not to be running around telling people how much money we were earning all the time, is because ambiguity, right? Like a new person, let's say a new person has not made $1 million, because they're new. If they make a little bit of money, but they're not forced to always be showing how much money that is, they can say things like, I love this business. I mean, I'm already profitable. This business is providing a great extra income stream for my family. What is a great extra income stream? Well, that's the point. You don't have to say the number, but if you say instead, I'm earning a great income stream from this, the people who are listening, again, the effect of your communication is not the words you say, but the effect that it has on people. So saying I'm earning a great residual income stream, that leaves it in the mind of the listener to fill in whatever they think might be a great residual income stream. And that would be a different effect than you saying, I'm only earning, $100 a month in passive income. See the difference? So if you're not forced into always talking about the specific number, I believe you can actually be more powerful and effective in your communication, whether you are a new person or whether you are a seasoned veteran. So I'm going to continue Bill's comment here. He says, I've not made a lot of money here yet, but the community here and the things provided to me personally by the people and the relationships I have made and am making are priceless. I am being blessed. So I love that comment so much, Bill. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, that's another point to highlight on the talk about money all the time. Because if we talked about how much money everyone was making all the time, then the benefit that Bill would think he would have to be receiving is to make a lot of money. And if he didn't make that lot of money, he would think that he wasn't receiving any benefits. But by not talking about money all the time and instead focusing on value and relationships, and, we've got the money in there, of course, but Bill and others can receive value and feel like this is a great place to be. I love this place. I want to be here. And people can come to that conclusion, whether they're just getting started, haven't made any money yet, whether they're making $500 a month, whether they're making $10,000 a month, whatever, we can all come to the same conclusion. And that's good for everybody who's involved. And I really do think it produces more stable residual income. That's my theory. Steven says, amazing, watching from Italy. Awesome. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. My friend actually just put an offer on a place in Italy, Stefan. So that's cool. Nick says, you build upon that 200 and continue, especially if you're new, because it takes a little time to build the skill set that is necessary. That's right. That's exactly right. Dave Anderson says, hello, Paul. Love this. What's up, Dave? Good to see you. Thanks for the kind words. Gio says, Paul, one thing I will say is many people complain about not making any money, but they get into the business and do nothing. That's true. Those same people will watch everyone else earn and never show up. Then they eventually get discouraged and quit. You have to show up to get paid. If they don't show up, they won't get paid. That is absolutely true. Dan says you have to put in the work and learn, make mistakes and fail forward, be patient. Yeah. And patience is the key, guys. I mean, like I mentioned, my story, a year with no money, next 3 or 4 years, not much money. And then a lot of money, which never would have come to me had I not been patient and stayed on the path. Veronique says we can and we will grow personally, not necessarily with your income, but it is such a great accomplishment when you grow yourself. It really is. Nelson says we're here to complete each other, not to compete with each other. I like that. You complete me, Nelson. I think this was just what we read this morning on the live call. Paul, thank you for teaching us the right way. This teaching is too important and right to miss. I love it with gratitude. Thank you so much. What a beautiful comment. Nick says your attitude will project outward like a light, and people can see that. If you're in it to provide value and help others, then the money will follow. I believe that's true. If money is your main purpose, then people will see that as well and be leery to deal with you. Value is the key principle. Sounds like wisdom to me, Nick. Thank you for that. Greg says, the value of this community is just as good as making money. Paul, you and Mike are awesome. The amount of money a person makes is not important. Why? Because we don't know a person's work ethics. That was my story also, Paul. I made zero money. What I did, though, was I kept learning until my breakthrough after my third year. And I'm still learning, and I'm now earning along the way and having fun. I love that. Thanks for sharing your story, Greg. Peter says, exactly, Paul, I'm growing daily and the reward will come. I really believe it. I believe it too, Peter. Don says 100. Peter says the magic really happens out of my comfort zone. I believe that's true. And then your discomfort zone becomes your comfort zone. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, I wasn't comfortable doing these lives when I first started 92 days ago, but now I feel pretty good about it. So I've expanded, I've grown, you know, and that's what we all do. Jeff says the amount of knowledge and practical education that I have gleaned by plugging in and being engaged is far more valuable than what I have earned or what I have spent. Thank you, Jeff. Nelson says, excellent. Focus on the good things regardless. Arnita says, thank you, Paul, for a most valuable message. You're so welcome. Jim Hall says, plus all the value you could get from the actual product, right? Yeah, the actual product. Dave Anderson says, thank you. You're so welcome. Thank you for being here, Dave. Williams Young says, failure's not the opposite of success. It's part of success. Rejoice even if you make $1 today. 100% agree. Failure in The Laws of Success by Napoleon Hill. There's a whole chapter on failure. It is one of the laws of success. Failure is the way to success. So great comment, William. Caroline says, well, crying now, not because of you, but because of cutting onions. I'll try to do better tomorrow, Caroline, so that if you tune in and you're not cutting onions, I can bring some tears. Dan says, I only want to beat my own goals and help others beat theirs. And isn't that the best way to do it? You know, I think that's the best way. Caroline says, haven't earned anything yet, but I'm learning so much. And that is also valuable. And I am determined to continue. Thank you. I love that, Caroline. So valuable. So that's it, guys and gals. Thanks for being here. I love all of you, everyone. So get out there, take action, go for your dreams, and I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks again for all the valuable comments and insights. I love learning from all of you, and I think together we can do more. All right, take care. Bye for now.